Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a nice story. There was a shelter that increased adoptions, thank God, by removing breeding labels. Shelter removes breeding labels after study shows they unfairly affect dogs' adoption. The Arizona Animal Welfare League is completely revamping the way they present adopting dogs to the public thanks to a study conducted by Arizona State University. I'm not going to go into that, but I'll allow you to read it. Researchers found that labeling the dogs with certain breed descriptions like Pit Bull or Labradoodle, etc., led to them spending longer periods in shelter prior to adoption, something crusaders against breed legislation have long suspected. A study labeled identified-looking dogs with different breed descriptions. Those presented as pit bulls spent nearly 3 times as long in the shelter. Dogs labeled breeds more positive public reputations like labs or boxers, potential adoptees or adopters, tended to be deterred by preconceived notions regarding traits associated with specific breeds. Well, now, thank God, that's over with, and they decided to stop doing this. So this is the new situation here. Hi, I'm Myrtle, age 1, female, 45 pounds, white, brown, cat, maybe, maybe not, prefers people, family, is very active, they love walks, give that. But obviously remove the identity factor of breed and boom, adopted, I imagine. So this is actually very happy and very good. I'm always happy to give various, results like this, and various stories like this. So good for the Arizona State University for putting out that finding. And let me see if that has anything major. Okay, so I'm going to give you the website on this, and what it is under academia, academia.edu. What's in a name affects breed, preconceptions and labeling on attractiveness, basically the PDF on dogs. And you can basically download the PDF. No doubt it'll take you to a PDF site so you can actually see it. So I'm actually very happy to show you this. And I don't really have any real preconceived ideas when I walk into a dog shelter or a cat shelter. Last couple of times we got pets, it was basically from family, friends, and strays we, found. There were a couple of stray cats that were coming around. They had a litter. We took in the litter. A couple years later, all the cats that were around started, unfortunately, dying off, old age. No doubt the Humane Society in the area probably put something in the ones they were releasing into the area that probably killed them off, etc. All kinds of bad things you might want to think of that you don't want to hear about, but and the dog we currently have came from a family friend, and she is awesome. So we've never really had to go to a shelter, but I've seen them. I've been around them. I've known people who have adopted from shelters. I had a cat that lived to be 25 or 26 or so who actually came from a shelter. He was barely 1 at the time, so I highly doubt he remembered his life that way, but he had a good, wholesome life, and he was my best buddy, and I'm very sad even now to see that he went, but he was very sick in the end, and he wasn't able to move, wasn't able to do anything. Most think he had a stroke or something like that, and last day or two, right before we had to put him down, they said he would have passed within probably 48 hours, but he wasn't even like active or anything else, and it seemed like he was in pain, so we decided it was time. And if I'm that way, I have absolutely no problem with telling a doctor, look, why don't you give me the good pill and leave the room for a little while, this or that, and just kind of go with it. And we don't want to think about doing that to family and stuff like that, but at what point does life become a burden for you and everyone around you? Well, when you no longer have the ability to do what you enjoy. That is when life becomes a burden. And that is when you become a burden to all others, whether it's animals, whether it's people. And this shelter is increasing adoptions due to this study, and I'm very happy for this, and I will definitely keep this PDF around. So I got a funny feeling it has very good information. And I'm very happy to see that people are starting to look past the identity disorders and the identity markers, just like people are getting away from stigmas involving politics and various things, and they're starting to use their brains rather than just what they're being told about people, places, things, events, etc. And I'm very happy that this animal shelter was able to increase adoptions by removing the breeding labels. I'm very, very happy with it, and that dog looks very happy. I'd love to take that dog home. That dog would be awesome for a family pet. I don't care. We've had pit bulls. They're great dogs. They are great dogs. One of the dogs we have recently, unfortunately, she's a runner, but she's not violent. But she just runs up and down the street until she tires herself out, and then she comes home. But people are angry, and they don't understand the dog just run off energy if she gets out. And we have had an incident where the dog did go into a neighbor's yard, and she was partly abusing him, and I had to kind of jump in there real quick and say, all right, look, she just got out, get over it, we're here, we got her, it's all good, she wasn't harming you or anybody, she's just running around being happy. Lord knows lady was probably against dogs and people being happy too.